Hello, and welcome to RadioNIGP. They say that time flies when you're having fun. It also flies when the fiscal year end is approaching. Remember to take care of yourself during those stressful times. RadioNIGP is doing our part by helping you look past this frantic time of year towards the 2025 NIGP Forum to be held in July in Denver, Colorado. So grab your drink of choice, sit back, and enjoy this episode of RadioNIGP.
Good afternoon, everybody. Kirk Buffington with RadioNIGP. And this morning I have the distinct pleasure of having with us Harry Winter, who, as I've said in the past and continues to be, the person who knows everything about Forum. So we're going to have a little brief discussion about what's coming up in Denver. Keep in mind, it is almost a month earlier this year, so you need to get that registration. And if you haven't already, I can tell you from personal experience, your hotels may be sold out. So anyway, Carrie, welcome to the broadcast. Tell us a little bit about Forum this year in Denver, Colorado.
Thanks, Kirk. Happy to be here. So you can see this is our 80th Forum. Hard to believe that we're celebrating 80 years of Forum. Last year we celebrated 80 years of NIGP. So we'll have some nice fun surprises along the way if you're attending in person, and also virtually we'll have some great surprises as well. So Forum is coming along great. We're close to breaking records again this year.
Great.
We had a great number. We have a really good number at Early Bird, which ended April 30th. So you will want to try to get your registration in June, because those late registration fees kick in toward the end of June. So if you haven't registered, do so quickly.
Do it. And try to get a hotel.
Yes. Well, we have some rooms still available, and we'll add more if we need to. But we're up to about 6 hotels, but everything's within walking distance. Denver is a really great walkable city. They have public transportation available. So if you need to get around, you'll be able to do so with no problem.
And I understand that getting into the city from the airport should be relatively easy because they have a train.
They do have a train. They do have a train.
Good to
There's
know.
information on the website about that. We did have some folks on our orientation that we did last month from Denver who sort of spoke to that, and it's a very inexpensive way to do it. And they said it's super easy. So if you're looking for an inexpensive way to get from the airport to downtown, you can take that train right into downtown area.
Great.
Yep. The content's coming along great. We've got 4 learning paths this year. So those are the specific, there's 4 sessions to each path. And if you so choose to go through the entire program for any one or all of those paths, you can take an assessment at the end after Forum, or after you view them online after Forum, and you can earn a digital badge. And in those topics, we have legal, we have construction, contract administration with NCMA, and there's one more.
Negotiations, I think.
Thank you. Negotiations, yes. So those are the 4 paths where you can earn that badge. We have some workshops, which is a 2-part series. So those are 2 75-minute sessions on a deep dive topic. One of them is federal funds. There's some others that might be appealing to folks. So there's those are going to be on the schedule. We have some great case studies with some great industry partners. So there's lots of good topics. There's a wide variety of foundation to advanced. So I really feel like this schedule is really, really great. And the content is, it runs the gamut for, if you're new to the profession or if you've been in the profession for a while.
Sure.
It's really
well,
great.
I'm very proud to say that I've been asked to conduct one of those paths, the legal path, along with John Walton and Jody Hart.
Yep.
And I'm really excited about that because I've never done a path before. So it's a lot of work for 4 content for 4 sessions.
It is.
But,
it is.
We think it'll be a great. We think it'll be a great path, obviously, from a bias point of view.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the special event.
So our social event this year is at the Denver Aquarium. It's about a mile or two from downtown, from the convention center and the hotels, but we are providing transportation. Hopefully it will not be as difficult as it was last year getting out to the Speedway if you were there with us.
Oh, I was. The traffic was like, holy.
Yes, it was not fun, and it didn't help that there was an accident and that there was some big concert in town that we didn't know about. So we are having it on Sunday evening this year. That'll avoid the rush hour issue. So
Good.
Sunday evening at the aquarium, the event starts around 6 o'clock. We'll be shuttling folks from the convention center. It is an 80s theme. We have a really great band
Ooh.
that is well known in the Denver area that the local planning committee put forth for recommendation. I've heard them. They sound really great. So make sure to break out your greatest 80s outfit because we want everybody to dress the part and have a good time.
Oh, you know me, Carrie. I'll
I
be
know
wearing my
you'll be
costume.
you'll be right there. I know it for sure. I don't think I'm gonna have time to dress the part between running around. So that's my
Probably
excuse.
not.
I don't know that I can do it, but it should be great fun. Of course, we'll have food stations throughout. There's an outdoor area for folks who want to kind of get outside and enjoy the weather. The aquarium is very, very cool. We walked through in February. They have a mission to save, wildlife. So they bring in different species into their aquarium and they watch the fish hatch and grow, and then they put them back out into the wild in some cases. So it's
Wow.
it's really a great venue because they do good for the world.
Sure.
That's kind of a feel good thing too. And there's some surprises there as well. And I'd like to also thank, we have two sponsors, OpenGov and Tips are helping us with that event. So there'll be you'll see some signage, and Tips is going to have a cool area for folks to gather. So thankful for
Great.
them, for their support.
Well, that's great. I want to personally thank you for 24 years of forum experiences. You and your team, I know it's not you alone, but you and your team do an amazing job every year.
Thank you.
What you did through the pandemic with virtual, pivoting as well as you guys did on, I guess, 21.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
20 was the first, it
yeah,
was the
20.
first year. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just, personally, thank you for
Well,
all you
thank
do.
you. Yeah. I mean, the virtual thing, I went kicking and screaming and said, nobody's going to go to a virtual conference. Why are we doing this? And fortunately, I was sort of asked and pushed to do something a little different. And we actually started it in 2018. We did virtual. We did a portion of forum. Actually, we recorded and did a virtual conference of recordings, but in 19, we actually did our first live stream. So we were well prepared when we had to do that. And it's no, I mean, people are registering. We still have 1,500 people out there attending virtually. So as long as we
Wow.
have that need, we're going to continue to do
Sure.
that. And
Absolutely.
we're streaming almost everything. There is one type of session that's going to be in person only, and those are we call them current conversations. Those are sort of hot topics. Because of our limitations, some limitations with AV and the ability to stream everything. So we're streaming 9 concurrent sessions. And this year we're actually streaming from the innovation theaters in the Expo Hall. So we did not stream those last year. So that's new, and those sessions will be put on by our NBC, our NIGP Business Council suppliers. So those will be streamed as well. So people will get a little taste of what's going on in the Expo.
Those sessions are almost always sold out.
Yep.
Now, granted, they tend to be smaller rooms because they're
Mm-hmm.
right off the convention floor, but
Right.
they're always packed. I
Yep.
see that every year. So
Yes.
that's great.
Yep. So we have about 200 seats in those. We're trying something new this year. We're going to have headsets for everyone, so that they can hear more clearly because it gets a little loud in there.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
And because we're streaming them, if you're in the hall and there's no seat and you don't have headphones, you can watch it directly from the app. So you can go sit in a quiet corner or go sit in one of the tables and not necessarily watch, but you could hear what's going on if you so chose to do that. Or you could watch it on your phone, actually. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, Carrie, thank you so much for your time.
Sure.
A lot of great information. I know it's going to be just a blast once again. Denver's a great city. Everybody needs to remember to stay hydrated.
Yes.
And remember, it truly is a mile-high city.
It is.
And the air's a little thinner there, folks. So
There it is. It is. And I actually, because I live in the mountains of North Carolina, I'm like at 2,500. So it didn't really bother me when I went to Denver, but if you're at sea level, you might want to, just make sure that you get rest, you hydrate. We will have an EMT and first aid in the building in case folks have negative reactions.
Sure.
So we will make sure that everyone is taken care of. And I do want to mention before we wrap up that if you're thinking about leaving early, don't do it, because Rick Grimm is going to be closing out our forum this year. This is his last because he's going to retire at the end of this year. So I encourage everybody to stick around, and we're going to have a little celebration for Rick and have him have his last moment on the NIGP stage, which is sad for me, but
sad for a lot of us.
But I'm very happy for him to be able to start his next chapter of life.
Okay. Well, Carrie, thank you so much for joining us. And I can't wait to see you once again in Denver next month.
Yeah.
Well, almost next month.
Almost next month. Thank you, Kirk.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Great to hope to see all of you at Forum in Denver, Colorado. Thanks again. This is Radio NIGP.
Hi, I'm excited to see you at Forum. When you stop by our booth, just say hello. We're always glad to meet new procurement professionals and reconnect with familiar faces. If you have an upcoming RFP or project, let us know so we can be sure we're registered to receive the solicitation and prepared to support your organization's goals. Even if you don't have anything active, tell us which cooperative contracts your agency uses. We may already have a match. Or simply come by and chat about technology, public purchasing, or grab some of our fun giveaways at the table. We're here to connect with you, to collaborate and learn how we can help your organization. So just engage with us. Say hello. See you in Denver.
Hello, everybody. This is Keith Glatz with Radio NIGP. And today I'm talking to one of our mentors in the Mentorship Program, Ms. Katrina House.
Hello, everyone.
And Katrina, welcome to Radio NIGP.
Thank you so very much for having me, Keith. I appreciate it.
We're here at the 58th Annual Conference of FAPO, Florida Association of Public Procurement Officials.
Yes, sir.
And it's been a great conference, hasn't it?
It was a wonderful conference. Learned a lot, met a lot of old friends. Super excited to be here.
You know what, folks? The forum is coming up now.
I know.
It will be in July in Denver, Colorado, the Mile High City.
Get ready. Get ready for forum. Get ready for a lot of knowledge.
But I have just one question for you here today.
All right, Keith, what is it?
Since you're a mentor,
Yes.
you have a mentee,
Yes.
what would you tell your mentee about why should they go to forum?
That's a great question, Keith. I would tell my mentee they need to come to forum because there's a lot of generational knowledge here, right? There's at least 2 to 3 decades worth of experience in the room. Everybody has gone through different trials and tribulations in their procurement journey, and you can glean from that. And that's something that you can't pay for.
That's great advice.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that. And I think everyone out there that is a mentee or anyone in general will understand and appreciate the advice you provided us today.
Yes, sir.
So-
Can I say one more thing?
You sure can.
Get out and volunteer. We need volunteers. NIGP, if you're part of NIGP, get out and volunteer. Keith needs your help. Every committee out there, they're recruiting. We can only be as great as our volunteers. We need you guys.
Well, folks, there's your call to action. Listen to it and act on it.
That's
Katrina,
right.
thank you today for being on Radio NIGP.
Thank you so much, Keith. Glad to be here. Have a great day.
Hello, welcome to Chapter Updates. Today we have Lori Newton with us, and if you know anything about NIGP chapters, you've probably met Lori. She has done so many things and volunteered, and I believe I met you when we were chapter ambassadors together, quite a few years ago. We won't talk about all of that, dates and years and things like that. But Lori, what are some of the things as we're prepping for forum that some of our chapters can do to get together and relate to other chapter members while they're at such a large national forum?
So I think one of the big things that they can do as a chapter is plan their own social events. So my area is Area 2, and it covers several different chapters. And starting in the last couple of years, all of them have begun to schedule their own events to do things as a group. So they send that out in advance. They participate as a group. Sometimes they combine some of the chapters within our area, which is exciting because then you get to see people that maybe you haven't met before. We do a photo op, which is pretty fun for everybody. We try to do it for the whole area, and then we also divide them out into the chapters. One of the things we're going to do this year that's brand new, so this is something I'm going to be sending out to my chapters, and I'm using a little cheat note, but we're going to use a forum specific hashtag where it's going to do a chapter challenge. So that's something brand new, and we're going to post pictures. And at the end of it, we're sort of going to have a winner. So we think that's going to be a lot of fun within Area 2. Not only will you see them in person at the event, but you're going to see pictures that they post. So we're very excited about that. That may be something that other chapters may want to consider as well. I'm glad to share that with them.
So what if I am maybe not super active in a chapter in your area, or I'm like, hey, that sounds fun. How am I going to get notified of either the hashtag or the meetup? How are you going to let people know?
So what we've done in the past is I, as the chapter ambassador, send out an email once we have the list from Forum to know who's going to be there. Sometimes that list is a little off if you live in one state, but maybe you work in another, you may be in a different chapter. But for the most part, it has all of the members within our area. So I send out an email in advance. I give them the location of the photo app. Each of the individual chapters also send out to all the members. I provide them a list of their chapter members that are going to be there, and they send out on their social events. I try to attend all the events that they schedule. Sometimes they conflict with other things, but I try to at least show up for each one of those. So they will know through notification either from their chapter and or from myself.
Awesome. And then also the app. If they, for some reason, miss that email, they can look on the app when the forum app comes out, and they could look for people in their chapter too and send a quick message in case they miss it. That's awesome. I love that idea of the hashtag. And I'm thinking that other chapters listening or areas listening to this might also want to do it. And maybe we can see how many or what area has the most pictures.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Let's
Friendly
make it a
little challenge.
live thing. Right. I'm excited about that. So I'm going to do some little just, gag type gifts for our chapters to take back to their event and maybe use as a door prize. So.
Oh, I love that. What a great way to connect with your chapter while at forum and really get to connect that way as well. Very exciting. I hope everyone watching finds you at forum, says hello, maybe gets a picture and hashtags your area.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me, Ginger.
Thanks, Lori.
Hi, my name is Rick Grimm, and for 28 years, I've had the privilege of standing before you on the NIGP stage to either welcome you to the annual forum as the association CEO or to host the annual awards program as we recognize the very best leaders and chapters in our profession. Here we are broadcasting from the NIGP 2022 Forum in Boston, Massachusetts. I am Rick Grimm, the Chief Executive Director for NIGP, and my aha moment is, and we always know this, but my aha moment is, it is worth every ounce of effort to bring people together to this annual conference. It is absolutely wonderful to see people learn from each other and network and create those friendships. So it's an aha moment for us to continue to do that kind of work to support you.
I'm Eric MacAp with Centos Corporation. I also have the privilege of representing NIGP Business Council. Coming soon, NIGP will be hosting our annual forum. At the forum, this is going to be an opportunity for practitioners and agencies to engage the vendor community. We'd love to have conversations with you, the practitioners and agencies. When engaging the vendors at our booth, we'd love to hear from you. What problems are you having within your agency and your organization? There may be some products and solutions that the vendors can be able to provide for you. When engaging with the vendors, educate us. Tell us about the different departments, the divisions, satellite offices that you're going to have. Each agency is set up totally different. Many of them are going to have different names and different titles when it comes to what you call the departments and the divisions that represent your organization. It helps the vendor community provide qualified solutions when we have as much education from you. We'd love for you to ask us, what are some of the latest and greatest products and solutions that our companies have to offer? There's going to be a lot of things that the vendor community can provide that may not just show up in an RFP or simply on a price. There's things that you're going to have that you're going to be extremely price sensitive to, but there's going to be a lot of solutions that are what I would like to call silent cost. There's going to be some things that we're going to be able to provide for you that may not show up on a bid. Some of the solutions and some of the best practices that the vendors are going to be able to provide. Please be sure to stop by our booth and talk to us about how we'll be able to help your agency and your organization.
Keith Glatz here again, and I have Vanessa Redmond, who is also a mentor with our program, Mentorship Program. And I have one question for you, Vanessa. We're still here at FAFL, by the way. One question is, what would you tell your mentor about why they should attend the forum in July in Denver this year?
Okay. Well, most of my mentees seem to be young people, and if you're on a track to get certification, the fastest way and the best place to have so many different topics and to learn about all different kinds of things and get little badges that you can post on your LinkedIn, on your social media, is to attend the NIGP Forum. Not only is it a great event that you can attend, but of course, as I said, you're going to learn a wealth of knowledge that's going to help tick off a lot of those things in the competency book that you need to have to be part of procurement. So I want to encourage you to go, to make friends, to connect in any way that you're able.
Well, thank you. That's fantastic advice. I want to thank you, Vanessa, for stopping by today and reminding you this is Keith Glatz and this is
Radio NIGP.
Hello, we are here today with Tara, and I'm going to let her introduce herself. But she is going to talk a little bit about some more exciting things that you can do with your chapters at Forum. Hi, Tara. Welcome.
Hi, Ginger. So I'm Tara Camp. I'm the Director of Procurement here at Tampa International Airport, and have been a member and on the board of my chapter for many, many years, and currently serve as one of your Area 5 chapter ambassadors.
We love chapter ambassadors here. I've heard through the grapevine that you do some fun things to connect with your chapter at Forum. Can you tell us about that?
I do. I love to take an opportunity to connect with the chapter, whether I'm on the board or not on the board. I've still coordinated events. We've had dinners where I'll coordinate. I'll find a night that NIGP doesn't have something going on for us, right? So try to find a free night, and then I just find out everybody that's registered, and I send out a meeting invite. And I pick a location and everybody just meets up. If you want to come, you can come. If you don't, it's fine too. But it really kind of just gives us an opportunity to kind of sit together and catch up. And it's really great with those new people that are first timers from your area also, because they kind of don't know what to do, don't know who to hang out with. So it kind of gives them somebody to go to dinner with also, and kind of get to know some of the people in your agency and within your chapter or within your area even better.
Well, that is an awesome idea. Do you also attend, or, if you are the president of your chapter, do you go to the president's lunch? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes. So I've actually went to the president's lunch as a treasurer, as a vice president and a president, when our presidents weren't available to go. So I actually had the pleasure of getting to go to those. I do highly recommend taking advantage of those whenever you're invited. It's a great opportunity to network with some of the other ambassadors, the other chapters, and just kind of sit in a nice, relaxed atmosphere.
That's a great idea too. I've also attended the presidential lunch a few years, and I just really like hearing what other chapters are doing and being able to connect with those people, especially in my area as well, which is different than yours too. And then, so if anyone here is watching and they maybe missed your email or anything like that, can they look you up in the Forum app and send you a message?
Oh, absolutely.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Tara. I hope this gives some ideas to the people watching and listening for ways to connect with their chapter while at Forum. I will actually see you there.
I will see you there.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Greetings. It is June, and it's time for our my annual reminder to you all that as you're preparing for NIGP's forum and any of your local chapter forums, any other procurement organization, any conference that you go to for your professional development, act right, please. And y'all, understand this. I heard what y'all said about me, about how I'll be killing parties and stuff when I'm showing up for the social events because I'm so judgy. I'm not, and I'm not being serious. But y'all, I just want to remind you that your employer sent you there for professional development. And ethically, you have a duty to act right. Represent your employer well, or whoever sent you there. So many things happen at these types of events, and I really don't see much behind the scenes at NIGP Forum, but as someone who used to be a chapter ambassador and someone who travels to a lot of chapters to speak, I've seen some stuff. For example, there was a time that a young man locked himself on the balcony with nothing but a robe in November, and he ended up having to sleep out there because he couldn't get anybody's attention to let him in. And he had to lay down on the floor of the balcony because he threw his furniture down trying to get people's attention. And let's don't even talk about, people who may have been a little too intoxicated and created some stories for themselves that maybe they didn't want to remember or want people to remember whenever they're hiring for jobs or looking for jobs. So just a reminder, you have the reputation of your agency to protect or your entity to protect when you're coming to these events. And if your chapter is sending you, you want to represent them well. And finally, if you're paying for yourself, you owe it to yourself to represent you well. That's just the ethical skinny of it. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you all in July. And if you see me, stop me and speak to me. Be safe, everybody. Bye.
Hello, friends. We hope you've enjoyed today's broadcast that overflowed with information that you need to know to be prepared for Forum. As we wrap up today, I thought I would capture some thoughts that will help us all have a better experience. I like to call this Keeping Forum Fresh, brought to you by Southern Belle Stacy and all of her country charm. Step 1, consider wearing layers or at least having a jacket or a sweater. You might be sweating if you were staying outside, but in some of those conference room spaces, you'll be glad you have it. That being said, if you find yourself outside, take a layer off so as to avoid any unpleasant smells from an unexpected sweat session. If you're like me and you have your own personal summers, you might want to consider preparing for the heat with a small fan as well. Bless our hearts, we do what we can to control our environment ourselves as best we can. Now, whether you go low-tech or you have your fancy high-tech, we won't judge. We just want you to be comfortable. Now, step 2, take care of your feet. Wear shoes that are appropriate for the weather and are comfortable for walking. You just imagine how many steps you think you're going to take, and at least double it, you might be close. Now, ladies, those heels might be cute. They really might be cute, but bless your heart, those toesies are going to be screaming at you if you try that for a full day of Forum now. Be practical, I promise. No one gonna judge you, darling. And if they do, you just bless their heart and you keep on moving. Now, step 3, let's keep that breath fresh. You're going to be meeting a lot of people, and many of us are huggers. So you want to make sure you are fresh and ready to go. Have some mint, some gum, some mouthwash. Keep yourself fresh for first impressions. Bless it, you want to be remembered for the right reasons now, don't you? Seriously though, come equipped with throat lozenges and mints are going to be a must. You never know when your throat is going to need some assistance. And step 4, that's the last one, I promise. Being fresh does not mean we want you taking a bath in perfume or cologne. Save those of us that have allergies or sensitive to such things the torture of a headache. Using a light application of perfume or cologne on those pulse points might make you smell so fresh. However, spraying loads of it midday on to mask some of that smell of sweat, that's just not a good idea. Bless your heart, you make matters worse if you try to cover that up with some floral or earthy. It's better to find a way to take you a quick shower, or maybe use a little cleansing wipe to help yourself out, okay? Now, I hope you found some of this very helpful from our chat, but if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to those that have been to forum before. They have some friendly words of advice for you. Or contact one of us here at Radio NIGP. We are always here to help you. See you in Denver, friends. Bless your heart. Happy packing.
Wow.